Okay. Welcome back, boys. That's working, isn't it? Yeah. Okay. That's working. No music today, though. I can't be bothered with the music. Do I just realise there's a random glass on my windowsill from a coffee I had this morning? Is that working? Is my mic working? That's working. Yeah, okay. Ugh. Oh, this is better. I did take a short off the open initially, but it got stopped, obviously. I don't normally trade right off the open. Mr. Cody. Oh, yes. What's good, Mr. Cody? I did take a short off the open initially that looked something like this, just because I don't actually normally trade with this volume profile stuff right off the open. Normally I'll have to wait half an hour for the volume to build up in this half an hour, so then I can use the developing profile. But if there's stacked levels like this from overnight and previous day, I'll happily take that with like a little bit dialed back risks. It's what Cammy would call a B setup. We have two confluences basically. Hard to have an A confluence before 10 a.m. and I'm trying to stick to. Well, I'm taking B's and A's, but no C's. Anything that's just one confluence, I'm not taking. And good to see you, Cody. Hope you're well. I need to maximize this chat so I can actually read it better. There we go. So yeah, we've got 17 minutes of hanging out, and then like an hour or an hour and a half. I've my cutoff point for the AM session for this strategy, this way of trading is 11:30. Just because I don't want to sit around on the charts for anything after that. Normally I'm done before 11:30, to be honest. I don't know how many of these streams are going to go all the way to 11:30, just because quite literally the past 2 weeks I've been trading I've entered a trade every day. That's something that would not happen when I was trading ICT. Yeah, it's good to be back on lives, Cody. Good to be back. VP's been going good. I'm yet to be trading any of my XFAs, anything like that with it, just because I don't want to just yet. I want to get a bit more comfortable with it. I know, I'm pretty comfortable now, to be honest, but just, I'd rather take my time than rush into the XFAs and then fuck them up. But yeah, the past 2 weeks have been outrageous with volume profile. I can pull up my TradeZella. Let me pull up TradeZella real quick. I had like an initial 1 to 2 weeks of like a learning curve, and then like through forward testing and then doing a bit of back testing and just learning, I have suddenly just started winning every day pretty much. I mean, I started this account mid-October, and that was like, honestly, it was like win a day, lose a day, win a day, lose a day. And then I had a week of just straight losing. Then I had a week where I wasn't trading as much. I think I was busy that week. So that was all October. So yeah, let's say 2 to 3 weeks of like learning the ins and outs, building a little bit of the experience and doing some back testing during that time as well. And then so far in November, didn't take a trade on the Monday and Tuesday of November, the first Monday and Tuesday, so the 3rd and the 4th, but then last week, Wednesday was a trading day, Thursday was a trading day, and Friday was a trading day. Oh no, this is the first week of November. Sorry, not last week. This is the first week. I took 3 trades in that week and won all of them. And then last week, Monday, I took a trade which won. Tuesday, I took a trade which was break even, but then it stopped me at break even and then went to take profit. Wednesday was a trade that I won. Thursday was a trade that I won. And then Friday, I lost a trade and then got a break even, but the break even then went to TP. So I'm going to change my... It's not so much a rule, like I asked Cami about it. I was like aware that it wasn't like a strict rule. I just kind of have always followed it. But moving to... It's from ICT, really, or that's where I got it from at least. Moving to break even when 75% of your target range is hit. It's something straight out of the 2022 mentorship. It's like a recommended thing he suggests, but I think it's pretty common amongst most strategies, really. But I think for this, because this is a bit more scalpy, and a lot of times when you trade in these value levels, it seems to kind of bounce off it once a little, come up and bounce off it again, and that second bounce is a lot of times the big move. Even like 3-4 times, but normally I've seen it quite commonly do like here we've got 1 bounce, 2 bounce. I would expect this to break, to be honest, since this POC is moving up, but this isn't really much to go off since it's only like the first 16-17 minutes of volume. But yeah, at the moment I'm gonna mess around with moving my break even to 90 when 90% of the trades hit. I think that would serve a more scalpy strategy, because that's what this is. This is a more scalpy strategy. I thought I was going to be bad at talking, but we can see that that's not the case. Thought I would be out of practice from just waffling into to no one. Also, if you were watching the streams before, you'll realise that I've not got TopStep X TopStep X. Project X above me anymore. I've got the Tradeify. It's the Tradeify DOM. The only reason it's the DOM and not the chart is not because I'm trading using the DOM. I enter on the chart on Tradeify, but it just works better for the stream. It looks better if I have the DOM above me. To get the chart above me would just I'd have to like cram everything in. So that's why the DOM's there. But I literally don't use the DOM at all. Glad it's doing well for you. Everything you're saying sounds like a different language to me, though. Yeah, don't worry, Cody. It's not complicated. It's like you could pick it up simply from just watching what I'm doing. It's just like learning the terms. Like ICT sounds like gibberish to someone who doesn't know ICT. Same sort of thing. It's very, very, very simple. Like literally when I'm talking about like value levels, it's just taking on TradingView the fixed range volume profile tool. I drag that across specific like times. So like I've got one from 9:30 to 3:59 of Friday, and then I've got one of the overnight session, and all that does is just measure all the volume that occurred during that time. And then that just gives me I out of these two volume profiles, I just take the very specific, they're called value levels. So the point of control, which is like the most transacted, the price level where the most buyers and sellers got involved, the most transacted price level is the point of control. And then there's the extremes where where all the volume dropped off. So where all the buyers and sellers were less active beyond, like when you can, there's a blue line. If I highlight the profile, I've got a horizontal line over it so I know where it is, but that blue line I'm just pointing to with my finger, that blue line at the bottom and top of this profile, they're the value area high and value area low. So like basically just the 70% levels of where the volume dropped off. All the 70% of the volume on that day, 70% of people that were buying and selling happened between those two blue lines. And then same thing for the overnight levels. And then a lot of times these extremes will bounce off of little bounces and stuff like that, which is what I'm trading off. And then I'm literally just trading right off those levels pretty much. Once I see some volume from the initial session, once I see some volume from here that's overlapping with one of these levels, that's kind of like my setup, if you will. Tell you what, I'm still good at talking. My throat isn't. I'm gonna have a sore throat after the end of this stream. When I'm not streaming, I quite literally just sit in silence. Get all my words out in the like 1 to 2 hour period. Since I stopped streaming, since like what, a month or so ago, maybe a month and a half ago, just haven't spoken since. Complete and utter silence. So I've got 9 more minutes here, and then I can trade off of the... how do you get an entry off of it? What would be... So those levels that I've got marked, Cody, these VAL... PD VAL just means previous day value area low. So that's the low of the 70% from the previous regular trading hours, so 9:30 to like 4 p.m. of the previous day, which, because this is Monday, previous day was Friday. And then OVAL is the overnight value area low. So that's just the session from the whole overnight session from the 6 p.m. open to 9:29, right before the morning of this session. These levels are each their own like confluence. So like preferably I want to trade the VALs and the VAHs because the POC, the point of controls, they, because of their nature, like you can see here, this price action here bounced around this kind of magnets around the point of control, because point of control is the most transacted price, so it's the fair value of, it's where where buyers and sellers agreed on that price level the most. So because of that, price tends to consolidate a bit more around them and tends to have more like V-shaped bounces off of the value area highs and lows. So each of those price levels is a confluence, and then when they overlap, so like here, right off the open, I took this loss because I tried shorting the previous day's value area low, overlapped with the overnight value area low, which doesn't happen quite as often, which is why I normally have to wait for the first 30 minutes, and then you can see the other confluence that I use, which is basically just using this developing volume profile of the current session. All of these little points on this graph here where it's kind of up and down, I'm looking for the bits where that points out the most, because that's volume building up in the current session. So I want to see volume in this one build up over one of these key levels, and that is like a confluence in itself when volume builds up in this current profile, because that's basically showing me that we have the value levels from the previous sessions, and then once volume builds up in the current session around one of those levels, it's showing me that this was a key level in a previous session and it's still a key level now because buyers and sellers are transacting around that key level. So I wait for it to build up, I wait for it to move away, and then when it comes back to it, that's my entry. And then my stop loss is just kind of like behind those, they're called high volume nodes, HVNs, high volume nodes, which are on the current profile. I'll just place my stop loss like behind them, or I'll just have like a generic like 5-point stop or an 8-point stop. Oh, and then PW, Cody, stands for previous week. So the entire week's price action from last week, that was the value area low. So that's like obviously an important level in itself. And then you can go deeper in it. You can look at like where point of controls have moved session to session. That can tell you like where fair value is obviously shifting. So if fair value shifted down, like that's another reason. That's kind of more of like a context than a confluence, I would say. But like the fact that on Friday, the previous day POC from Friday was here, and then during the overnight session, the POC moved to down here. It was settled down here. So between the previous day session and the overnight session, the volume profile had shifted downwards. So if fair value is shifting lower, that means that we're likely bearish. Obviously we weren't, but that's the kind of context that you would frame based off that. Hard to learn the market as a completely different lens? No, not really. I mean, I've kind of slowly learnt it just from keeping up to date with what Cammy's been teaching and all the stuff he's been doing on his channel from since he moved from ICT to volume profile himself. And then like Disc in the Discord, Cody, he's obviously well versed in the volume profile stuff. But no, it's not hard to learn. It's just learning terms. And there's way less terms to learn, really. You could go like more in depth with it. Volume profile is just kind of one, how do I want to put it? One piece of like an umbrella, which you could kind of do of like order flow, I guess. So then you would go into things like delta and absorption and what's the opposite of absorption? I'm not familiar. But I don't know much about all that stuff and like all the footprint. I might experiment with delta. That's the only thing that's like intrigued me is the cumulative volume delta, which sounds way more complicated than it is. But yeah, for now I'm sticking with the volume profile simply, because I can't lie, I do like how simple it is. Like I don't have to even look at any other time frame. Like I'm literally sticking to the 1 minute chart and I don't move off of it because everything I need is on that chart. And I know the thing I like about it compared to ICT, the other thing I like about it is I'm trading, I know where I'm trading off of, like every day. I know that I'm not trading. I can just quite literally sit back and not care until 10 a.m. and until we build up volume at some of these levels. That's like, I literally can just sit on my hands and be like, well, there's nothing to do, so. Which you could do with ICT, but you did it a lot with ICT. Just a lot of sitting on your hands. It's not as much sitting on your hands for volume profile. Like I say, like the past 2 weeks, I've traded basically every day. Which you could say is like it's arguably a bad thing if you're someone who's prone to over trading. You're probably going to be even more prone to it because you see so many setups, right? But if you have the discipline to filter through, like I see a lot of people in, I joined Cammy's school group like a week or two ago, just to see if I could get any extra value out of that. And to be fair, there is a fair bit of value in there, beyond just the course that he has. What was I saying? I blanked now. Fuck. How long did that take for me to blank? How long have we been streaming? About 10, 20 minutes? Professor Mac, I saw that you switched to volume profile from ICT. Good stuff, hell yeah. See, this is the funny stuff. I still have... this is where we're going to get like the divide in my channel. I've got all the people that follow me and still trade ICT, and then I'll have some people coming in because I'm now trading volume profile. So that's going to be a funny interaction in the live streams. But I mean, we do have some people in the Discord that are combining ICT. I think Geordie combines ICT and volume profile. It's a shame Geordie isn't in here. I bet he's fuming. I literally just decided to start streaming again today. So yeah, I'm pretty sure Geordie combines ICT and volume profile. Coop obviously is like plays with it a little bit from what I'm aware, and then obviously Mr. Disc, Mr. Wiz. Loves his volume profile ICT stuff, but his volume profile stuff is a little bit different to what I've learned from Cammy in the way that he does it. He obviously has that 80% rule, but even simply where he gets his point of control value area low, is all his levels, is different to how I've been taught to get my value levels for Cammy. But we've spoke about it like on calls and stuff, and like I would say 95% of the time my value levels and his are like basically in the same place, which makes sense. I mean, we're both measuring the same sort of data. We're measuring how many people entered trades, and because it's like it is that data, I can't get a separate set of data compared to him. So yeah, they're going to be similar because we're measuring the same thing, just in two very slightly different ways. So now 10 a.m.'s hit. Now I can actually refer to this developing profile. There isn't really much of a high volume node, so I want to see like more of a pronounced, more of a distinctive high volume node. This is kind of just one big what do you call it? What's the phrase? Even distribution. This is kind of just one big node. Nothing really other than like these little ones, but I don't want to trade based off those little ledgers. So I have had trades, I think on Friday. I can't go back to it now because I've moved all my volume profiles and stuff around, all my levels, but I think on Thursday, sorry. Yeah, Thursday. I literally traded like right at 10:04 or 10:02. But yeah, basically from now until 11:30, I can be hunting a setup. I only have one more setup that I'm permitting myself to take. I can tape read others, but I already took a loss off the open, so I've got one more $100 risk trade in me for this account. When I've moved back to the XFAs, oh my god, there's gonna be like entries left, right, and center because I'll start cycling the accounts. So it'll be like trade this one, okay, that one's done. Move to the next one, trade that one, okay, that one's done. That's where the fun begins, as Anakin Skywalker would say. I like having this DOM on this monitor as well. While I've been not streaming, I've had the DOM on like my smaller laptop in the middle, and then I've just had like a podcast or some fucking YouTube video to just have some background noise on whilst I've been trading. Yeah, it's so much nicer because Tradeify's a bit clunky. Not a fan really of Tradeify. It's got its pros and cons. Some of it's, we can see prices holding up. This is like a valid trade entry. It's just not one I want to take because point of control, especially when we have this point of control and an overlapping point of control, likelihood is it's gonna kind of zigzag around this, consolidate around it, which like I would rather just avoid. I'd rather get the more one-sided fades from the extremes. It's like we came up to previous day's point of control, kind of hovered underneath it, got above it, came back down to it, bounced a little more. Now we broke through it, probably come back up. This is what happens around point of control. It just kind of dances around it and then eventually will break away from it. I'm trading the mini, or I'm analyzing the mini on my chart, on my trading view chart, but I'm entering on the micro. I've seen some people, and I don't know which one I think Cami recommends to do not what I'm doing, but just logically in my head it makes sense to do it this way, so I'm doing it this way. Some people say like, oh, if you're trading the micro, which I am trading the micro, then you should get your levels from the micro, because they will be different levels. But to me, in my head, that don't really it makes sense in the sense of like, oh, they're two different participants, but the bigger participants and the ones that are ultimately going to have more impact on the market are going to be trading the mini. And like on Friday or Thursday last week, the micros and the mini levels were very, very different. So yeah, I'd rather get my levels from the mini personally. Because like when I think about it, if I'm trading based off volume, I want to get my levels from where the most volume is. And obviously that's why I like the S&P. That's why I've switched to the S&P rather than the NASDAQ for this, because like in my head, there's more volume in the S&P. So my levels that are based off of volume are going to benefit when there is more volume, or if I'm trading an asset that has more volume. And then in the same sense, I'm going to be wanting to get my levels based off volume from the mini, not the micro, because there's more volume in the mini. Whether that's right or it's not, I don't completely know, but it makes sense in my head. Coming back up to point of control, overlapping point of control. It's a shame I didn't start the stream earlier. The reason I started at like 9:40 is because I was gonna start at like 9:40, 9:45, because most of the time I'm waiting that first half an hour after the open for this this developing profile to build up some volume, which takes about 30 minutes for it to be like a good amount of volume to trade off of. So like in that first half an hour, I'm very rarely taking a trade. It was just happenstance that I did today because of that overlapping previous day value area low, and overnight value area low. Does my mic sound good, by the way? If someone can tell me if all the sound and everything sounds good. It's been a while since I've used this mic. I say that I recorded a video with it like last week to announce my departure from ICT, and sounded fine then. I do need to upgrade this mic though, to be honest. I just don't know if that's worthwhile. No, it's probably worthwhile, to be honest, because I'm not going to be here the most of the time. I'm going to go traveling in the new year around Feb, for about 2 months, and then I'll be back here until I decide to go and explore the world again. I was going to go back to Australia, but I don't think I'm going to now. At least not yet. Not in this upcoming trip. So far in this upcoming trip, which is in like Feb, on my itinerary is one going with my girlfriend. That's a change from when I last went traveling. When I last went traveling, I was single, and now I'm going with my girlfriend. But yeah, the itinerary is Thailand, north of Thailand specifically, because I didn't do the north of Thailand when I was last there. I only did I did Bangkok and then the south. And I really want to do the north, so that's going to be fun. And then Bali again, and I'm going to go to a different part of Bali though. I stayed in the same part of Bali the whole time I was there last time. For 2 months, I stayed in the same part of Bali. So I'm going to go to that same place, but not there the whole time. So we've moved down from POC now. So now I'm still thinking bearish, to be honest. We also came back up to we fell just short of previous week's value area low, which is close enough. Like Cami says, these we mark them as specific levels, but it helps a little bit if you think of them more as zones. Like relatively, like say this is previous week's value area low, like you might in my head think that like this is the acceptable zone, but obviously there's no like definitive zone. It just helps for entries really, and obviously like when you mark them, it is a specific level. But yeah, coming up to previous week's value area low, even though we kind of like point of control has now shifted up, but it's we broke away from it. So if we were going to continue bullish, you would think that as this point of control shifted up here, that we stayed above it here, or like at least consolidated very close to it and then continued higher. So that failure at the shifted POC combined with breaking through previous day's point of control combined with just falling short of previous week's value area low, I'm going to favor my initial trade, basically, that I entered off here. I would quite like to see this come lower, which would also then build up some volume here. And then I can get the retap there and get a little... On this strategy is very like base hits, at least the way I'm doing it right now, just because I want to focus on mastering the base hits before I start trying to hit the big boy runs. But yeah, that's what I'd like to see. Doesn't mean it's going to happen, but if it does, I will trade it. I guess the other trade idea there was also the kind of like fading the extreme of this D-shaped profile. Let me draw that again. This D-shaped profile here, pretty evenly distributed, and when that happens you can fade the extremes of like the area, so like basically just above the high blue line and just below the lower blue line. I don't really like doing that, to be honest. I've messed around with it a little bit, but I prefer the reinforced value area levels as like my setup. I don't really like the fading the even distribution, unless it looks really clean. If it's combined with, like, say we had a D-shaped profile, I don't know. Let's say we have like a wrong tool. Let's say we have like a D-shaped profile here, and we're coming up to this like value level. This could be one value level, not like two overlapping ones, but if we have like a D-shaped profile here and then we're moving up, then I'd happily take that trade because I have the D-shaped profile as well as a value level. I'd happily take that short, but trading just off of a D-shaped profile, yeah, no. No thanks. Yeah, I'm speaking a foreign language in a British accent. I'm sorry, Journey. Fair value gap. Order block. There we go. I threw it in there for you. First presented fair value gap. Should I mark out the first presented just for like just for the old time's sake? Where's the first presented? 9:30. That would be first presented. I thought we just tapped it. That'd have been funny if we just tapped it. We broke straight. Oh no, we haven't touched it at all. Is that 9:40? Yeah, there's no volume imbalance on it, so that's... I still have the templates. I still have my ICT templates. First presented actually overlaps with the previous day and overnight value levels. I'm gonna have to delete it just because it's overlapping with that crap. I'm still happy to talk ICT stuff in the chat. I just don't expect me to be up to date with like where the market is in terms of ICT. One, because like I know a lot of you ICT guys in my chat now will be trading NQ, and obviously I'm trading ES, so I'm not even looking at NQ anymore. And I'm not aware of like where, if you said to me like, oh, we're about to tap into that daily fair value gap from like a couple days ago, I won't know what daily fair value gap you're talking about just because I haven't been keeping up to date with it. I've solely been volume profiling, but I'm still happy to talk ICT. I'm so close to 700 subs as well. If I can get to 1,000 subs before I leave for my travels, that'll be fucking sick. It'd be an absolute godsend if I got there by the end of this year, but I very highly doubt that. Like, I'm not going to gain 300 subs in a month. At least not right now. Like, that would be like a fucking 50% increase on my channel in a month. Unless I had a video that, like, blew up. See, point of control just shifted lower there, so that's another nice confluence for bearishness now. If we can hold below that point of control that shifted lower, that's a nice bearish confluence. Where was I? What was I saying? I've lost my train of thought now because that point of control shifted. I'm going to need to get back into the mindset of talking about some random like waffle shit and then actually focusing on the charts. I know that I can kind of just waffle at the minute because it's not near anything that I need to be bothered about. The main place I will really want to trade off today is this area down here. So as long as it's not near there, then I probably am not going to trade. Unless it got up there, actually. I wouldn't mind taking a short up here. I would like to short up here, and I would like it to break through, and then I would short from here. You could just long from here and hope for a little bounce, but I would prefer to see it break and then get a retest. I think this is more likely than this today, personally. But I'll happily take that higher trade there. I can't remember what I was just saying. It's gone. It'll come back to me. I think I was saying like something to do with I need to get used to. No, I was saying that about the fucking conversation. I don't know. I'm sorry, boys. I took a caffeine break over like the last month. Literally had no caffeine, and then I had a coffee today because I knew I was going to stream. So I didn't even finish the coffee because it hit me that fast. I drank like 3/4 of it. I was like, if I have the rest of that coffee, I'm going to fucking blast off. Which is crazy because I would have like that coffee and then like a Monster. That would be like a normal day to me, like a month or two ago. Like a year and a bit ago, that would be nothing. I'd be having my pre-workouts. That would be like 400 milligrams of caffeine in like one shot, which is like 2 Monsters and a coffee in one shot. That was not healthy. If I took that now, oh my god. One, I'd shit myself like vigorously. Sorry for that image. And I would also just like probably have a seizure from the amount of energy that I would have. Point of control held, so that's good. More bearishness. It's got an hour to get really. It's got like an hour and 10 minutes for it to get through this level here and give me a little retest. A little retester. I didn't want to go on this. There we go. Come down. Oh, I've still got the fucking brush on. God, I've got such a potty mouth today. Effing and jeffing all over the gaff. What's the... Okay. I'm probably going to use an 8-point stop here. So my trade will literally look something like this. Just over a 1-to-1 because Tradeify charges me commissions, the fucking scammers. Have to actually pay to enter a trade. What's the world come to? Just took a shot of the developing volume area low on MGC. Oh, and gold. I've not looked at gold. I need to. I should probably track it just on long. I mean, I'll just pull it up on the side here. MGC. Gold futures. That random stock there was a stock that one of my friends is invested into as well. That's why that was there. I don't just randomly choose stocks. Developing. I mean, I'm not gonna mark up all the other levels, but I just want to see what they're developing. I mean, yeah, looks like it's a pretty healthy trade. It reversed, but not before I got a quick scalp. Nice, nicely done, Professor Mac. Are you trading like Cammy's volume profile? I'm assuming, Professor Mac. I don't know if you're like in the school group or anything, or took his course or anything like that, or just picked up. I think honestly you can pick most of the stuff up from his just his YouTube channel. Not trying to like tank his course sales or anything, but bankrupt Kami Capital by stopping his course, all his scammy course purchases. Oh, don't go back up. Yeah, I think you can get at least a very, very good understanding of everything you need to know about for volume profile just from his channel. But it is in a more like you have to kind of bounce around, and it's not obviously like a streamlined process like the course is. And then the school group is just kind of like nice to be in a community and get that direct feedback. Not really. I've been trading market profile and volume profile since I was in the group a couple of years. Oh, right, cool. Market profile is another thing I've looked into a little bit. But for now, like I said before, I'm starting with volume profile. In the future, I may branch out. But for now, sticking with simply volume profile. Sticking with this, and then... Oh, my monitors are fucking frozen right there. Hopefully the stream's not frozen. I'm gonna need to... The stream's gonna go crazy all of a sudden. Just give me a second here. Things might bounce all over the place. Hopefully not, though. I don't know what's wrong with these monitors. They're or like the software that I use for extending my screens. It just freezes sometimes. I thought I stopped it. I did fix it like a week ago. It didn't. I don't think the stream messed up at all, so that's fine. It's just that I need to like be aware of it. If I don't notice it, then price can have just like not moved for like 10 minutes. Like it happened to me last week. Price was kind of not really anywhere, so I kind of wasn't paying attention. I was literally just watching like on a video on my phone, and then I noticed that price literally hadn't moved like an inch for like 20-30 minutes, or maybe like 20 minutes, because my monitor was frozen. Honestly, I think volume profile is better if you're not trading the New York session all the time. I live in Asia. Oh, okay. I mean, I am trading the New York session all the time, but that's good to know at least. At least most of the time I'm trading the New York session. I just love the AM. I can't get away from it. It's like crack. It's literally crack for traders, the New York AM session. Like Cami got a taste of the New York AM session, and now he's quite literally moving countries and like altering his entire lifestyle so he can trade the AM session. He'll tell you it's because he wants to get out of New Zealand. He's a liar. He wants the AM session. It's quite literally crack. It is funny, I still have like the ICT kind of thing still in the back of my mind. I've not really, I still see fair value gaps, don't think about them so much. But like in my head, I do see those lows there and think, oh, equal lows. But that is probably because equal lows was the thing that got me like the most excited when I was trading ICT. But yeah, fair value gaps are kind of faded out of my mind. Unless I like consciously think about them. Let's see if we can get a drop here. Finally below the value or the overnight point of control. Hopefully it just doesn't start consolidating here. Point of control is probably going to shift lower again pretty soon. You can see the volume building up. Building up here. So point of control might shift down again slightly. How can you not see the BNG? I see it, Journey. I see it. It's not tapped on here still. The 930, yeah, it'd be this one that I marked out before. Still not tapped it just quite. What's funny is I am pretty much trading a BNG. Like I'm waiting for the BNG to invert and then go short on it. I'm just not trading up because of the BNG. I'm trading because of the volume profile. Also, like the stream, boys, before I forget to ask. It costs you nothing and shows that you love me, and I need love. I've got very, very, very low self-esteem, so if you don't like the stream, then I will probably cry myself to sleep tonight. And if you want me to cry myself to sleep tonight, then like the stream, because I will cry myself to sleep tonight either way. God, that was a lot of trauma dumping in a very short space of time. Do apologise. Pretty lackluster price action we're getting here. Could do with a move lower, NQ. NQ? Oh god. Thinking about my toxic ex. How about I buy a funding ticks account with your code? Journey, I mean, you would be a smart man. You would be a very smart man. But if you're saying that because you want me to cry myself to sleep tonight, then I will. I will wipe my tears with your hard-earned money. I need to do a video on funding ticks. I did want to do one like pretty soon because okay, point of control shifted lower again slightly there. Let's see if it holds. Yeah, I need to do some sort of a prop firm video in general just because Black Friday. Need to let the boys know about the prop firm discounts, of which I'm sure there is many. And that you can use code KAI or code KAICAP, depending on the firm. In the description. Anyway. I wonder what funding ticks' discounts are at the minute. I haven't even checked. It's still outrageous how cheap you can get accounts from them. When I found that firm and I was like, I really like figured out how, it was from Trader Kane actually, who I found like how you could really just lower their prices and stuff. I saw another firm, there's a guy I watch every now and then, he streams as well, Daniel Inskeep is his name. Very solid YouTuber, makes really, really cool, like high quality videos. He did a video where he kind of talked about every firm that he's tried. And there was one on there, I can't remember, is it Tick Trader or it's the trading desk or the futures desk? Or, oh God, I can't remember. It's one of them. One of the ones that he covers in the video, obviously. And you can like change everything about an account. Like you could change absolutely everything. You can literally like custom build your own account, like rules, whatever you want it to, what rules you want it to have. And then the price that you pay will change based off of what, like you basically build your own account and then how you build it impacts the price that you pay. Very cool idea. Because that's what I liked about funding ticks. That was like you could customize your weekly payout cap, and that would impact your price. So if you brought, but you could only do it, but you could like choose 5k a week or 1k a week. Be nice if you could customize it a bit more, but that's what I liked about funding ticks. And then turns out there's a whole firm that can like do it about like everything. I do like Lucid, to be honest. I think Lucid are really really good, and any firm really that charges a one-time fee, such a good tool for trying out a new strategy specifically, because like um, one, trading views paper trading is shite. The fills are just terrible. Um, so it's nice to be using, and it also keeps you in that kind of, especially like with me, I chart on TradingView and then I enter on another platform like a lot of people do. So when you have a cheap account that's only cost you one fee and then that's it, you're not like, I don't need to pay an activation fee if I pass it. I don't need to pay monthly if I'm just like taking my time and really getting used to the strategy that I'm using. And yeah. That's what I was saying. It keeps you in that nice practice of charting on TradingView and entering on another platform. In this instance, Tradeify. Still holding below POC. We edged above it, but ultimately we held. Daily target 25,470s. Let's look at NQ. I don't know where NQ is. NQZ 225. 25,470, okay. Wait, 470? 25,470s? That's way up. Damn, NQ really dropped overnight, huh? 470s is... I do have some value levels, but these are out of date. These value levels that are on the chart here. Okay, Journey. Big old reversal. Daily target is in like your target on the daily chart, or daily target is in like today's target? I'm assuming that you mean like something you're wanting to play out over the next few days. Sorry, we're finally getting this break hopefully here. Again, I'm not looking to fade this. I'm not looking I'm not looking to fade it. Fade it is where it's coming down to it, and I'm just gonna buy it because it's come down to it. I want to see it break it. Think of like a break and retest essentially. I'm essentially just doing fucking support and resistance. Resistance broken. Target on daily chart. Yeah, okay, that makes more sense. I was getting worried for a second. I was like, wait a minute. Journey's expecting a massive pop up. Yeah, I don't really have much of like a daily bias anymore, Journey, because I'm not paying attention to the daily chart and things like that. Like, look at the move that I'm aiming. That position, the short position that's on the chart, that is the trade that I will take. That's how small of a move I'm like looking for now. Literally like an 8-point move, and sometimes I'll be looking for like a 5-point move. So where it's going on the daily chart doesn't really concern me anymore. Obviously, it does to an extent. Like if I have an idea that like, okay, I think we're going to be going up on today, but the week, not really. Down at overnight point of control. We've been down here 3 times now. This is the 3rd time, and it's bounced off every time. So hopefully we break it. It's so cold in the UK at the minute. What's the weather today? in the good old north of England. 6 degrees Celsius currently. What's that in Fahrenheit for you Americans? 6 degrees Celsius to Fahrenheit. 42.8, so basically like 43 degrees Fahrenheit for you Americans in the chat. That's the weather right now in the UK at 3:30 in the afternoon. While you were absent, I took 1055 tick and 900 tick with about 200 tick max drawdown. It was sweet. Oh damn. Fair play, Journey. Oh yeah, TradingView's paper trading. Yeah. Ass. Especially when you're like, it's even worse for this volume profile stuff, Journey, because typically you're getting smaller moves than what you're getting with ICT. At least like the way that I'm doing it. You can get more positional plays, but I've not been messing around with that too much yet. So obviously, like if you're a more scalpy leaning strategy, the fills matter even more so because I have smaller wiggle room. Yeah, TradingView, absolute arse. I saw another firm actually as well. That's another firm from that Daniel Inskeep video that I watched. Because I've been interested in like platforms to trade off of since I'm now with like the volume profile stuff. I've been looking to see if there's any platforms that I might benefit from like paying for. That have like good volume tools. One just for like a slightly more accurate volume profile. This one's pretty accurate, but the way that TradingView calculates this data is not ideal from what I'm aware. Whereas a more professional platform that calculates the data properly is slightly more accurate. I'm not clued up on how the accuracy differs though. But there's a firm that I saw in that Daniel Inskeep video that basically when you buy an account with them, with the account comes a login for MotiveWave. You get a license key for MotiveWave, which is like a solid volume order flowy platform. Deep charts is also something that I've been keeping an eye on. I don't know if I'm gonna jump straight to them because like I need to start. I would rather start earning money from volume profile before I invest in a strategy or I invest in a platform. Funded Futures Family probably was that one, Professor Mac. You're probably right. That does sound familiar, so I think you are right there. Yeah, that's pretty cool though. You can get a free account with or a free license for MotiveWave. I don't know how expensive MotiveWave is. I haven't looked into it really. I just I'm aware of the platform because a few streamers that I watch, like Daniel Inskeep, he uses MotiveWave. I'm pretty sure trades by Matt, who's obviously like huge. I'm pretty sure he uses MotiveWave, but he's in the process of building his own platform. Pretty sure Tradester, which I feel like has been in development for a while. I shorted from 25,278 and tried to exit at 800 ticks and it literally, oh yeah, Jesus Christ. That's crazy. Good old TradingView paper trading. I don't even know why I'm logged into it actually. Why am I logged into paper trading on this? I don't even know why I am. Maybe because I was doing it, that'll be why, to do limit orders, you have to log into paper trading. But I don't need to do that anymore because I figured out a way to do it that's easier. I can just look at the quantity thing when I hover over the tool. Quantity there, because I've got the template set up with like the amounts that I want to risk. Dollar amounts. So the quantity is just how many contracts I can get away with. So I just do that and then I round down because I don't really want to round up. no matter how close. Come on. Break. Funded Futures Network. No, that is definitely it, Professor Mac. Yeah, that sounds... Yeah, that's the one. I knew it was Funded Futures something. Thinking about it as well, I currently only have a couple of XFAs on TopStep, but I want to branch out. Yeah. I mean, honestly, TopStep, until they remove their activation fee, there's just better options now. They're still solid as far as rules and stuff, but the activation fee is just, like, even though they are cheaply monthly, they're like one of the cheapest accounts you can get monthly, but it doesn't matter because the activation fee is there. But they are getting rid of it soon. But yeah, until they get rid of the activation fee, I would not recommend anyone picks up a TopStep account because there's just cheaper options. If you're really that bothered about trading a firm that's like been kind of like what's the word, like a pedestal kind of firm, then if it really matters to you that much, then you can trade TopStep. But as long as you're aware that you're passing on far cheaper and still reliable options. Like, the only reason I have 5 TopStep XFAs is because I got them at insanely cheap. I got them when they first released Project X or TopStep X, and they did a crazy promo where you could get like 5 50k accounts with TopStep for like a few dollars each. I think I was paying like $15 or $20 a month for my 5 TopStep XFAs, which is just crazy. That's the only reason I maxed out allocation with TopStep, because I had all those accounts. Are they what, Journey? Sorry. Do you remember? Yeah. The good old promo. The good old Project X, TopStep X promo. Then Apex. No, we don't talk about them. I still laugh that I got I got like DM'd on Instagram for like an affiliated deal, whatever, partnership thing with Apex. I left them on red. Even though with this volume profile stuff, intraday drawdown is arguably more suited. I mean, it's not arguably, it is more suited to this strategy, but I still just would never do it because I don't... I asked ChatGPT this the other day because I was curious. Based off of data that's available that ChatGPT can base its like arguments off, you are between, well, in general, you are between 2 to 4 times more likely to fail an account that has intraday trailing drawdown compared to end of day trailing drawdown, and that can go down to like barely more likely, and all the way up to like 10x more likely. Yeah, they've not confirmed anything, Journey, for the activation fee, but they've not confirmed when they're doing it, but they have confirmed that they're doing it. I think. Don't quote me on that. I'm not sure if it's just a rumor or if it's actually confirmed, but yeah. Apex is more for scalping. Apex is more for scalping, full stop, in my opinion. If anyone's trading Apex and they're trying to like swing trade, or not even swing trade, but like even ICT trade, because ICT is like so much more of a, like, I don't know what the word is, like day trade. It's not scalpy. Like, you can scalp with ICT, but I honestly think there's probably better things to scalp with. I don't know if I'd say that ICT is like, if you're gonna scalp, you should be scalping ICT. Thing is, there's so many different ways of trading ICT that I'm obviously wrong. It's annoying that we came down to overnight point of control and then just bounced up. Could do with that not happening. I would like lower prices, please. Pretty stubborn today. It hasn't really moved. It hasn't moved outside of the overnight value areas, which normally it has. Do you know another thing I checked? Not checked, but like discovered. Not even discovered. What the fuck am I saying? like played with, I guess, is initial balance, which is basically just the opening range. Opening range? I can't remember what ICT calls it. The first hour. ICT on one... Oh, yeah. That's true. 1 minute or 15-second chart, you can absolutely scalp. But yeah, the initial balance is something else that I looked into, just to see if it would be nice for volume profile. And I don't know how I feel about it. But it's basically just like the high and low of the first hour after the open. Are like significant levels that you can look for them as like support and resistance, basically. So I feel like when they overlap with like how this one overlaps pretty nicely with the value area low of the previous week, but I've not really been thinking about it too much. But there is like some solid stats around the initial balance that I'm kind of aware of. I can't remember what they are. Something to do with like if it stays within balance, then it's more of a rotational sort of consolidation day, I think. And then if we obviously break away from it quite significantly, it's a solid place to look for a retest. And then if we go up to one end of initial balance and fade it, then the other side of initial balance is a good likely target. These are all things that you shouldn't take for like gospel just because I'm saying them. I could be wrong on any one of those things that I've just said. Simply spitballing because I have nothing to talk about on the charts since we've been in this range for about 45, 50 minutes. So of course I say that I was trading a lot with volume profile and now I'm not going to get a single trade on my first stream back. Oh well. If it doesn't get down here and offer me this, then I'm not taking anything today. Obviously it could come all the way back up here, but honestly if it came back up there at this point, I potentially would rather just see it break that instead. Just because I don't think it should come back up there really. At least not now. Now that point of control has shifted lower, I'd want to see it stay under point of control. I love initial balance trades. They are rooted in market profile theory, but they work well if you trade volume profile. Yeah, see? I need to just look into it more, Professor Mac. I'm just going to call you Mac. I got it from Trades by Matt. He's where I discovered it. And it does seem pretty useful. But yeah, again, something I will look more into adding further down the line once I've become solid in my volume profile-ness. Oh, Journey. We tapped the first presented. I just noticed. We did indeed tap the first presented fair value gap and bounce off of it. ICT. I'm back to ICT, boys. You couldn't keep me on volume pro. No, I'm joking. Okay, held at point of control once again, moving lower. This looks pretty fast, so hopefully this breaks. I've got 40 minutes for it to get below those value area lows. Below the value area lows. And then retest for my little scalp. I don't race down to it. I was trying to exit there. God, I don't think I'm ever going to get rid of this kind of like mullet thing that I've got going on. I genuinely think that I can't change my haircut now because I probably look the best I've looked, not tooting my own horn too much. But with my mullet kind of hairstyle is probably the best I've ever looked. But that kind of worries me, but because I can't I now can't change my hairstyle because I'll only be going down. Like, I've peaked. I genuinely think I've peaked. I can't get like better than I am, which is sad because I'm only 22. I want to keep improving. Good seeing you again, mate. It's 1 a.m. God damn, Matt, get yourself out of here. Yeah, go to bed. No worries. Hit my daily target. Nicely done. Nicely done. I'll post more in the Discord if there are people who are interested in volume pro. Yeah, I mean, I know the Mr. Disc Wiz is absolutely a user of it, Max. So feel free to. Feel free to. And I will also be interested in anything that you have to put in there. So, but yeah, good to see you. Welcome back. My attempted exit from 25,278, sure. 25,278. Oh, damn. Oh god, NQ's just gone sideways. I mean, so is the S, but... Damn. The B&G was your attempted exit, got you. Our point of control shifted lower again. So please hold lower. It's a good sign. Although it isn't much of a distinctive point of control. Like, look how similar all these different little nodes are. So, like, this isn't a defined point of control. This would very easily like shift back up here if we move a bit higher. It's kind of more just this whole kind of area here is kind of just one big point of control, which is obviously apparent when you look at the price action. I mean, with volume profile, it seems like it's almost a chicken and especially with like point of control, it's like a which came first sort of thing, like the chicken or the egg, because like when price goes into consolidation, point of control is probably going to be there, and if it isn't, it's probably going to be there pretty soon because we're building, like when we come down here, every like pass we have over this price level over and over and over again, volume is transacting, so point of control is more than likely going to be in this consolidation. But then it's like, it's almost a thing of like, okay, we come down here, we consolidate a little bit, point of control is like up here, and then the more we consolidate, then point of control shifts and it's down here. And now it's almost like this is like the theory that I'm aware of, it's like we consolidate, we cause point of control, then because we cause point of control then it's like a domino effect. We consolidate, we move point of control to where the consolidation is, and then because the point of control is where the consolidation is, that causes even more consolidation because that's now fair value, is the way that I look at that. Because when I did think about it, I was like, well, point of control doesn't really make sense because is it not just where price is consolidated the most? And it's like, yes, but at the same time, price is consolidated because point of control is there. It's not so much like one causes the other. They kind of cause each other at the same time, which is why it's kind of like a chicken and the egg scenario. Which is like, again, very visible when you look at point of controls from previous sessions. Like what I just described there is more to do with the developing point of control, because that one is obviously still able to move, whereas the previous days and like the previous sessions point of controls, they're more, well, I mean, they're not more, they are static levels, they are set. So that's more where once we get to those point of controls, then it's kind of those point of controls cause consolidation and can't really be the other way around, because there isn't any more volume that can impact those levels. Come on, get down there. There's been many setups, by the way, in this session. I just haven't felt the need to take them because there've been point of control trades which I tend to avoid because of the nature of point of control. But there's also, like, you have the point of controls, and then you have like I said, this is a pretty relatively D-shaped profile, which we can, like I said before, we can fade the extremes of. So like you could take a long, for example. You could take a long here because you have the value area low of the developing profile. You have a D-shaped profile, so that's like your context. And then you have the overnight point of control, which, while it isn't an ideal value area level, it's a value area level, so it's still a confluence, just not as solid as one. But like, so your stop could be just below, let's say 5 point stop. You could be really aggressive with that. Try and get a little 5 to 5. You could get 5 to 5, move back up to point of control. So we can just tape read that, see if it would have gotten filled. I mean, it looks like it's about to. Hopefully now that I've pointed this out, it breaks. See, the market thinks that it's fucking me over, but actually it's doing exactly what I want it to do, which is break so I can get my short. Price consolidation creates point of control, and an existing point of control makes the point of control more pronounced, right? I'm not sure I understand what you're saying, Journey, completely. Price consolidation creates point of control. Yes. It's just because like when price consolidates, obviously prices. Oh, that fell just short of being tagged. Unfortunate. When price consolidates, obviously there's volume transacting in that area and then obviously there's gonna be quite a lot. All point of control is, Journey, is where the most volume is transacted. So where have people been buying and selling the market the most? And like today, so far, that's right here, this red level. And an existing point of control makes the point of control more pronounced. That's the bit of your question I don't get, Journey. An existing point of control, what makes the point of control more pronounced is just more volume, more transactions at that exact price level will make that point of control more pronounced. And less transactions at other levels near that point of control. So like, for example, today, if we had less consolidation and like price transactions up here, this volume here would be less. Oh, I've picked the wrong color to draw this in. And if we had more here, then this one would obviously be more pronounced. I don't know if I've answered your question completely there, but hopefully I have. That long there would have got tagged. And then what I would do is I would probably move to break even. Like, I keep drawing that the wrong way. I need to draw it down. Is I would move to break even like most, when 90% of that is hit. That's a perfectly solid trade. In fact, that's an A trade, because you have the confluence of the D-shaped profile, you have the value area low, and you have the overnight point of control, and there it would have hit. So there you go. That would have been a nice 1-to-1 off of the value area low. That's how many trades you can get with volume profile. Like, there is a lot. I am, as you boys that have followed me for a while, you know, I am much more of a more hesitant trader, if you will. I wait for a setup that I have a lot of conviction in, rather than just taking a setup because it's there. Like, my reasoning for not taking that long there is pretty much just because it's an overnight point of control. I don't really like trading off of point of controls. And also, I'm not a massive fan of the whole D-shaped profile trades, although, like you just saw, I can recognize them. I just typically won't take them. Because I'm waiting for what I would prefer to happen, and especially because I you know what, I probably would have taken that trade if I hadn't have already taken a loss today. Because I've already taken a loss, I really want to trade, like, the trade that I've been talking about this entire stream. The short from that previous day's value area low and overnight value area low. But yeah, that's why you scalp as well, because look at that. Bounced up from that overnight point of control, value area low, to the point of control, and then smashed straight through it. So it's not an absolute. So finally, we might get what I've been waiting like over an hour for. Because as we come lower here, you're going to see more volume build up around this area, which then reinforces these two value area levels, meaning that I can take a trade. I mean, I can take a trade again. Honestly, as long as it breaks through it, I'll take the trade, because I've got two confluences there. I just want to see it break through it quite nicely. Not like a little poke through it. That's not enough. I want to see just think of like almost like displacement with ICT. I want to see ideally, a clear breakthrough. A BBC, if you will, to the downside. BBC actually fits my chart colours perfectly. My Pornhub chart colours. Orange and black. See, that's annoying. The fact that we've kind of bounced and wicked off it a little bit. Don't clip me saying this, but give me the BBC. Big black candle. Not the other thing. Not the other BBC. That one, the other BBC can stay far away. If value area low of the current session can shift lower onto around this area, then that'll be even better, because that's another confluence. Developing value area low is a confluence in itself, but only really when it's overlapping with a value area level from a previous session. When it's just randomly somewhere on its own, doesn't have that much meaning behind it, like as a confluence. And again, you could take a long here, but I wouldn't prefer to. I'm hoping that it breaks it and then I can short it. But a long would look something like that maybe. So like I would probably already be break even if I longed. And then you could take a 1-to-1 back up to the overnight point of control, or just over a 1-to-1 back up to overnight point of control. Leave a runner on for maybe current session point of control. I wouldn't really expect it to break. You could hope that it would break the current point of control, but to me, like I've said, I've been thinking that we're going to go lower. Really need a way. Do 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 do. By the way, as well, like you're gonna see the price of my entry, like on the DOM above me. I'm not risking a whole lot on this Lucid account just because don't really care. I don't want to risk loads and then like risk losing the account and then just having to pay for another one. So I'm risking quite small because ultimately I didn't buy this account to pass it. I bought this account as, like I mentioned before, just something to keep me in the practice of entering trades on a platform, and having good fills compared to entering on paper trade on Tradeify on TradingView. So it makes no sense really for me to up the risk and like just end up losing the account. Okay, so that trade would have been stopped to break even. Looks like we're now getting my break that I wanted, hopefully. I'd like it to get like, I don't know. It's not really a strict sort of thing. Like as long as it gets kind of like down here, that's enough for me. And a lot of times I wait for like more of a candle closure than like a move through it. What's up, Dumpy? Good to see you. Yeah, I'll tag everyone in the actual Discord. I put like a thing to say that I was streaming or bringing the streams back. I didn't then do another one when I was. Sorry, let me just get my fills here. 35.50, sell 2, and then let's have like a 6.5 point stop here. There's not really much of a volume build up on here, so I'm not really entering with an A+ setup. Honestly, I might go for 8. Let's do 8.25. Just because I need that extra wiggle room since I don't have much of a node here. What's that? 43.75. Okay, limit orders are in. Yeah, Dumpy, I'm back. I am indeed back. The promised son has returned. The prince who was promised. I've done those entries slightly wrong. That should be 50. Ah, it's breaking away. This is okay. Can still come and tag me. Unless it like really moves away, then I won't enter. It's not much of a like. It's not similar to ICT for me, at least in the sense of like if I was trying to short this, I probably wouldn't want to short it now because we've swept. Have we swept below that low of day? Yeah, just by a tick. I'd be okay shorting into that, but still, I probably wouldn't want to short like that close to a target if I was trading ICT, but because it's volume profile, I can. Yeah, Mr. Dompey, Mr. Wiz. Messing around on a cheap Lucid account with the volume profile for a little bit, and then move back to the XFAs, start cycling them. And then travel content coming in the new year. Trading and traveling, traveling and trading. Oh god, I really need a wee. How fast do you reckon I can go for a wee and not get filled? Ah, fuck it, I'm going for a wee really quick. Looks like I timed that pretty well. That's the benefit of trading from your bedroom, boys. Have a toilet in 5 seconds of me, within 5 seconds of me. I'm gonna move this all the way over here just so it's completely out of the way. You can see my you will be able to see my orders on the DOM. If I scroll up, yeah, you can see my orders on the DOM up there. Not got my limit order in, obviously. That's the downside of Tradeify, actually, is the fact that you can't have like the whole thing on Project X where I can do the OCO, whatever it's called, where the orders like cancel each other. Oh yeah, absolutely, Dompe. I've worked too hard to keep those funded accounts, to just throw them away, like trying out a new strategy before I become what's the word? What's the word I'm looking for? Before I've come, what? Before I've become, oh fucking hell! You can tell it's my first stream back, can't you? I mean, I always do this anyway, but before I become competent, there we go. Got there eventually. Before I become competent with said strategy. It would have been really nice if it came and tagged me. Just saying. I'll do this trade and then the stream will be done. First stream back will be done. Not sure how. I've played a bad week to do this week, really, because I might not be streaming every day this week, but I will be next week. I will be next week. Thinking I might just leave this limit order here until like 11:30, regardless of how much it runs off. I mean, where's a cutoff point? Where's like a logical cutoff point, really? There isn't one, to be honest. There isn't really one. So. Price do be running away from me. Naughty Price. Kind of okay with this though, to be honest, because this gives value area low of the developing session, the current session, to shift down, which makes my setup even better. The only thing wrong with this setup is the lack of a distinctive node over the entry. But the fact that we have two value levels, potentially a third one shifting down soon, kind of negates the fact that I don't have the node there. Kind of makes it okay. I just need to get filled, ES. It's my first stream back. I need to get filled. Okay? ES. Don't do an NQ. Don't run off. Come back to me. I can't believe I mentioned I called ES NQ. That's probably why it did this to me. I called ES NQ earlier in the stream. have to be kind when you talk to these volatile women. Is ES a woman? NQ's definitely a woman. NQ is the toxic ex. ES is more of the... I don't know if ES is... It's not like a... ES isn't a romantic relationship. ES is more of like a stable grandmother. And then like the Dow, the US 30, is more like the fucking... I don't know. The weird uncle that no one talks to or something. I don't know. That is not a representation of my family, but it's a good stereotype to go with. I'm the weird uncle in my family. I'm the weird uncle that no one talks to. That's more the choice of me just being not a talkative person, though, I guess, rather than no one wanting anything to do with me. That's me avoiding social interaction, sitting in my bedroom and speaking into a microphone to 4 or 5 random people on the internet. Anyway, how was your guys' day? Don't know if I'm going to get filled here. You know what? I may as well go ahead and just leave it here for the next 18 minutes. No, 12 and a half minutes. 11:30 is my cutoff point for trades. So I may as well, I've been here for what, 2 hours almost. May as well see it through. Hell of a stream to kick it off. I'm not going to do all of these streams all the way until 11:30. Most of them I'll just kind of do it until I'm done trading, really. I'm not done trading on the day, so I'm still here. Plenty of setups I could have taken. Not yet, Journey. Not yet. If I was going based off that, then I probably would have got an entry, actually, wouldn't I? Yeah, would have got the entry, but no. I'm entering off of the value levels. And this is like perfectly acceptable for it to do this kind of big move away and then come back and get me. If anything, it's better because it kind of confirms that we're breaking away from value. Prefer like a big breakaway because it's clear then like we've obviously broken away from that level. So now when we come to retest it, it's a much more valid retest than kind of just like a poke below it. The poke belows can kind of go either way. That's more where discretion comes into it if you've got like a good read on the market that day. Like Cami like a week ago, I think. Instead of like, so how he teaches to do it is to kind of, if it's coming down to the level, buy it. If it breaks through the level and then comes back up to it, sell it. And then on his stream like a week ago, he like predicted that it would break it, but he didn't predict that it would break it and then just like wait for it to break it and get a retest. He just got into it before it even broke it and kind of predicted that it would break it, which is like not a setup that he teaches. But then of course, because he did it, everyone now wants to know how to do that setup. How to know that it's going to do that. God, I'm hungry as well. I need to go and get myself some like protein yogurt. I've been hoofing down protein yogurt the past week. 10 minutes to get filled. It's ICT, yeah, sure is. God, did I just snort? Fucking hell. Who'll let this guy live stream? Is Cammy streaming today? Don't actually know. Predicting the action, yeah. Sure is. Is Cami streaming today? Don't actually know. I think if he is, he's streaming the PM session. Let's go on his channel. Lives. He's got nothing scheduled. So maybe not. He normally does schedule them. Did he put anything in the school community? I feel like he did. He's in the process of moving. What the fuck have I clicked here on school? Oh, that's what I've clicked. Where's that post that he put up? Week 8. Did he put a stream schedule in here? PM session streams potentially Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, so not confirmed. We'll schedule, yeah, schedule if they, so likelihood is he isn't streaming this afternoon because he hasn't scheduled it. 8 minutes we've got to get filled. If I get filled before 11:30, I'll take the trade. If I and I'll hold it past 11:30, but 11:30 is my cutoff point. I have to get filled by then, or I'm not taking it. This rarely happens, to be honest. I mean, I did, like I said, I did get a trade right off the open, which got stopped. And then the rest of the session has kind of just been like, there has been trade setups in here, but not ones that I've been, that I've felt compelled to take. They're just kind of more smaller little scalpy plays around POC, which typically I'll avoid. Especially if I'm already down one loss on the day. I'm not going to take a setup that I would consider subpar just because it's there. I've instead waited for this value area low break and retest. It's good that I'm glad that I my read that based off of what I've been able to tell with the volume profile today, that this value area low wasn't a value area low that I would want to wait for it to come down to and then buy off. Instead, I was able to see that we would more likely break it and then hopefully we'll get the retest. But yeah. Because even when we broke it, so we opened here, smashed through it, and then we never came back down to it and retested it to go higher, so potentially coming up here. 4 minutes, just over 4 minutes to fill me. It's gonna be a bitch in it and get up there at 3:31. It's gonna give me a big middle finger for coming back to streaming. That's my prediction. You can see value area low of the current session is also shifting lower slowly but surely. I really am getting tempted just to fucking leave this limit here because I can't deal with it getting filled a minute after 11:30. Five and a half minutes. Should put a timer on the screen. Do you know one thing that is bad that I have gotten out of the habit of doing though, since I've switched from volume profile to ICT, is checking the news. I basically have to remind myself to check news, whereas when I was ICT trading, I was trading around those news events, so I needed to know when they were. Also, to be fair, there's been, since we've had the longest government shutdown in US history, there hasn't been much of a need to check news because there hasn't been any news. But I believe, is the government back open now? Can someone who's American in the chat help me? Is the government back now? I think I saw that it's back open now. Not sure if it was real or not. But I think I saw that we have NFP on Thursday actually this week. Okay, if we break this low, if we break the low of the day now, then I'm gonna just cancel and head off because probably not. Oh yeah, it's open. Okay, back to normal. If we break the low of that day, then I'm probably not gonna get filled by 11:30, so I'll probably just call it a day there. Oh, some days still delayed. Okay, catch up, got ya. Okay, good. It's coming back up still. Thought it was gonna turn there and break the low of the day. You know what? Regardless of the 11:30 rule, I'm going to just wait and get filled. If we break the low of the day, I will call it a day. Just because I'm streaming, it's the first stream back, and it's pretty sad to be the first stream back and not get filled. Hopefully we get filled by 11:30, because then everything's good. Looks like we might, if we can keep this momentum up. What have we got? It's got to get 5 or 6 more points higher to fill me. Just looking for a little 8-point move. Also, I like the fact that if we get up there in this one, it's kind of like one big swing down and a retracement and then a continuation, compared to if we come down, stop here, break this low, and then come back to up here. It's like just... It doesn't really mean anything, but it's just a little messier, you know. Also, it'll take ages to do that. Come on, fill me by like 11:29, so I don't feel guilty. I'm getting ready to place my my limit on the other side. 27.25 is the buy limit. Come on, get there. Get there before 11:30. You're just there. You're right there. There we go. We got filled. We got filled, boys. Now we're going to lose the trade. And what I will do is when this gets to... Where are we? 35, 50, draw down. No, I need to draw up. Keep doing that. I need to draw up from the take profit. 27.25 up there. Since this is a more scalpy strategy, I'm changing my approach to 9 points. Or 90% of the thing instead of the old ICT 75% rule. If I've waited this long for this to just blow through me, then so be it. But yeah, this has not got much of a high volume node there, but it has got the stacked previous day's point of the previous day's value area low, the overnight value area low, and the current session value area low is a little bit there, but it's not quite on the value area levels, but it is there. It's between price and my stop loss, therefore it's a level that will hopefully help me, but looks like I might just get smacked. We'll see. Overnight point of control is also there as well, but I'm not really basing my trade much off of that overnight point of control. Let's add it now, and come on, I can live. I can survive this. The ATR is like 4.5, 5, so I'm probably a little bit tight on the stop. Stop filled. Ouch. Waited 2 hours, by the way. Waited 2 hours for a loss. Oh well. Let's see if it would have played out if I had a little bit higher of a stop, since I probably should have had like a 10-point stop if I was basing it off of average true range. I kind of take this as like a more of a what's the word? More of a like estimate rather than a fixed thing. Like here, average true range was about what at the time of entry. Average true range was what, about 4.5. So like what I would do is put like a 2x on that, so 9 points, which actually would still be one tick alive, but it's probably, yeah, they would have got stopped as well. So that was just a losing trade. Nothing really I could have done about that. 8 points is more than enough, especially this late in the session. Volatility's dropped off a fair bit. I mean, it's actually picked back up here, but yeah, nothing wrong with that trade. Happily would take it again. Just unfortunate that it lost, but that is what I get for coming back to streaming. So hope you boys have enjoyed the stream. You know what I might do? I might suggest to Cammy to use that in his hot seat thing in the school group, because I feel like that's a good trade to look at, even though it lost. Still a solid trade without a high. It's with the only thing that wasn't there was the high volume node. Probably a B-rated setup, definitely. Potentially A if you count the Virail low being close enough to the setup. And yeah, lost. But that is all I've got for you boys today. I will be a bit hit and miss here this week, and then next week I'll be here like every day. And then the only days I'm not going to be here is when the market's closed, like on a bank holiday. But yeah, other than that, boys, I will hope you enjoyed the first stream back. I'm glad to see a lot of you boys still here, and hopefully I will be back here tomorrow. The only day I'm thinking about not streaming this week is Thursday. Every day, and maybe Friday, but every day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, should be here. So I will look forward to seeing all you boys there, and make sure you like your stream on the way out. So yeah, catch you later, boys.